We are back and ready to talk some hockey on opening night. And who better to do it with than one of our best pals on the show, Matthew Barnaby, joining us, famed NHL Pest. Oh, my God, Barney. Listen, your name comes up all the time, my dude. Hey, how are you, man? Where are you at?
I'm awesome. I'm in Naples, Florida with my son. He's playing for the Everblades in the East Coast League. So I didn't want him driving down 25 hours by himself. So I made the trip. And of course, it's getting a little cold back home in Canada, as you know. So why not stay here for a few weeks and then a few months? So nice to be on the show. Love you, buddy.
Buddy, I was just at that Ford Garage restaurant a couple of weeks ago. There's like an antique car over your right shoulder, right? Fantastic. Have the burger. Right or left. I know exactly where it is. Barney, your name comes up because I was having lunch with Bill Lindsay last week. How many times would you say you fought Bill Lindsay in your career?
I think we only fought once. I think it was like very early on in my career, and we fought. Great guy. Great player. He's such a big part of that Florida franchise when they began. I haven't seen him in a long time, so please pass well my wishes to him. He's a great dude. He was a great player and played a long, long time.
A great, unreal guy like yourself. And the one thing he said was, it was in the food court of the Boca Town Center Mall. He's like, one thing with Barney is he never got hurt. He goes, you'd just clock him and he'd sit there and smile at you. Did the punches not hurt, Barney?
You know what? I never I never felt a punch. I've had over 400 fights, including junior and that. And it's weird. I never felt a punch while it happened. I kind of took myself to a different place when I was fighting. And most of the guys that I fought, Bill was close to my size. But when you fight the guys like Stu Grimson, you really got to take yourself to a different spot. And just psychologically, I did that. I was able to do that. Now, the next day it hurt, or when I got to the penalty box and I was cut, it might have hurt. But I was pretty good at being in good shape so I could have the longevity in a fight to go a long, long time. But ultimately, that's why I retired. I mean, I ended up having 12 concussions, even though maybe I didn't look like it hurt. Certainly, it paid a toll as the years went on.
That was a tough one. And now that I think about it, I think I sat at that exact table. But Billy said, he goes, I didn't hate Barney. I just couldn't hurt him. You couldn't hurt the guy. So to our poll question today for Key Auto Group, it's who has more points tonight, Connor Bedard or Sidney Crosby? What do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the veteran. I'm going to go with Sidney Crosby. Connor Bedard is a special, special person. I have him set at like 65.5 points for the year. It's going to be between him and Logan Cooley, I think, for the Calder. But, man, he's a special guy to watch. But give me Sidney Crosby. I think he's going to have a great year again.
Is the hype too much? I mean, you've been down here. And you're like me, I assume you've had your television on ESPN. If you've had it on, it's all Bedard, like as much as anything. And I'm talking NFL, baseball playoffs. Is it too much or no?
Anytime a guy comes into the league with expectations, the last one we saw like this was Connor McDavid. We've seen what he's been able to do. I don't think he's going to be anything close to a Connor McDavid. I think that's too much pressure to put on one. But this guy's very mature. He handles the media. Absolutely does not faze him at all. I think he's going to be a special player in this league. But I don't think he's ever going to reach what we've seen with Connor McDavid. He's the best offensive player I've ever seen. Just at this level where he's at right now. But Connor Bedard is going to be a very good player for Chicago for a lot of years.
Well, as you say, he's not McDavid. He's not Sid. He's Connor Bedard. But I'll tell you what, I'd love to see them lined up on a target shooting, maybe at our sponsor, Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, and see who would win. I'd put Bedard ahead of McDavid.
Yeah, he's got the Austin Matthews release. It's uncanny, his release that he has, and he's going to score a lot of goals. The NHL, like, we look at preseason, he's had a lot of success early in preseason, but now he's going to go up against all-star defensemen, the top pairing every single time. So that's going to be an adjustment for him, but we know his shot. We've seen it when he played for Team Canada. When he gets on the power play and he has time and space, watch out. He's going to score some very nice goals, Austin Matthews-esque.
I saw this come up somewhere. Can't remember where, but I'm going to put it to you. Chances the Vegas Golden Knights repeat as Stanley Cup champions. Good chance or not a good chance in your mind?
I'd say not a good chance. It's very hard to do. I have Colorado coming back and winning it. I think they ran into the injury bug a lot last year. Listen, Vegas has a great team. Could they do it? Yeah, but you're giving me another, 14, 15 teams to choose from. Florida, obviously Tampa Bay. There's just so many really good teams out there. So to go back to back is a really, really hard thing to do. And, they're a very good team, but I don't see it happening again.
Just sprinkling in some viewer comments. Ted in Red Deer says, I've read Barney's book. What a great read and stories. Oh, it's fantastic. And as I've said to Matthew, it is as much I believe, Barney, an inspirational self-help book. I don't know if you meant that when you wrote it or not, but that's what I got out of it. What did you get out of writing that book? Unfiltered by Matthew Barney.
For me, it was about thanking a lot of people, clarifying a lot of things that went wrong, and owning up to mistakes that I've made. I'm not a perfect person. I've certainly made a lot of mistakes, but I think overall, I just wanted people to hear my side of the story, and then at the other end, just know you can always do better. You can always do better. Never give up. Always believe in yourself and surround yourself with great people, and you're going to have success. So for me, it was, I think at times I might have embarrassed my kids along the way because of some stupid things that I did. Those certainly have been cleared up, and I also just wanted to get my side of the story out there. At the same time, giving people an inside look to what sometimes happens, whether it's on the road, in a game, and just get my personality out there. But it was a lot of fun to write. For a guy that doesn't read many books, to write one was quite challenging at the same time.
Well, it's right top of our coffee table here in Boca Raton. And like I said, you talk about not giving up. Every story was got beat up here, got beat up there, got beat up. Very few stories about winning fights, yet you kept doing it and fashioned quite a great career out of it.
Yeah. I wish the NHL was more like the UFC or boxing, where if you're 190 pounds or 160 pounds, you fight within a 10-pound gap. I don't like that. It's not fun fighting Zdeno Chara and Stu Grimson and Todd Fedoruk. Not many wins along the way. Probably why I celebrated so much when I did win one, because they didn't come along too often. But I guess the old adage, you show up, and I was always there to defend teammates. And I always felt if I was going to be a pest, I was never a heavyweight, I knew that. But I also felt a little guilty if I didn't answer the bell at some point. Now, it was going to be on my own terms, because ultimately my goal was to help the team win. I just wanted to help the team win. If I was going to take a punch or a slash to the head or the back of the leg and suck people into penalties and we score on the power play, I was going to answer the bell at some point, but it was going to be under my terms.
You know what, Barney, what's awesome about that is if you're going to be a pest, you want to be the best one. We all want to be the best at whatever we do. And you did that. And like I say, your name came up unsolicited from Bill Lindsay last week over lunch. So, he thinks you're great, too. I'll say this about the Sabres, your old team. Where are they going this year, do you think? How? They going to stay on the rise?
I really think they're going to take that next step forward. I think getting Dahlin signed, $11 million is probably crazy when we think of, he keeps on getting better, but I think in 3 or 4 years that contract's going to look really good. Owen Power especially, a lot of good young players up front. Can their goaltending be enough? It's still an unknown. Devin Levi was awesome at Northeastern. He was great when he got called up last year. But do they have enough goaltending to get them into the playoffs? And who are you going to take out of the playoffs? I think Boston's going to take a step back, but the Ottawa Senators are a better team. Detroit's a better team. Buffalo's a better team. And then you have, Florida, and then you got Tampa Bay, and then you got the Toronto Maple Leafs. You got Carolina. All these teams are going to be playoff teams. It's very hard. When you think of who's going to be in, you have to say who's going to come out. And that's where it gets really hard for Buffalo, Detroit, and Ottawa.
Hey, Barney, last one, because I know you got to have lunch there at Ford's Garage. Great place. Do you know anything about the Andrei Vasilevsky situation? Because Tampa opens at home tonight here in Florida to Nashville without an adequate replacement in my mind. Like, it just seems really weird to me that they'd be missing the best goalie in hockey till Christmas and not have another plan at all.
Yeah, I'd really watch the first 5 to 10 games, and if things go sideways, I'm sure Julian Brisbois will make a move. I have no inside knowledge of what it is, and we're ramped up in the football season. I've been a lot of NFL, and now I'm getting into the hockey with it starting tonight. By the way, I have the 3 favorites. I got the Golden Knights tonight. Who else do I got? The 3 home favorites in a parlay. So let's make some money there, but I have no inside knowledge on that. Tampa Bay at home, Vegas, and I can't remember the third of the one off the top of my head. But I got Vegas 10 unit. Huge.
Yeah. Gotcha. Swerve in Calgary writes in and says, Barney was a showman. We'll leave it like that. I'm sure you'll take it. You've been called worse, Barney. Have a great lunch at Ford's Garage, man.
Cheers, buddy. Keep up the awesome work, man.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I love you, pal. Matthew Barnaby checking in from Estero, Florida, in one of the greatest outlet malls you're ever going to find.